Alright, next we're going to be working on subtracting mixed numbers with borrowing. And so we've got a couple examples here talking about the first fraction is larger when we have 8 and 7/8 minus 2 and 1/8. And so the problem is ready to go as it is because 7/8 is bigger than 1/8. So we can add and subtract the integers and fractions separately and just go. On the second example, 8 and 1/8 minus 2 and 7/8, the second fraction itself is larger, and so the problem needs to be fixed or we need to borrow from the integer. And so we're going to really zone in on that borrowing aspect of that we did in the last set of notes a little bit. We previewed and really look at that. And so we see 8 and 2/9, and what we need to recognize is that 8 and 2/9 is the same as 7 plus 1 plus 2/9, because 7 plus 1 is 8. And then plus 2/9 is the fraction. And so what we can also then recognize is that 7 plus 9/9, because 1 is equal to 9/9, any number over itself is equal to 1, plus 2/9. And so then what we can do is, because of the commutative property of addition, we can change the order here, and we can add our fractions first, 9/9 plus 2/9, and get 11/9, keeping our whole number 7, and we get 7 and 11/9. And so what we need to recognize here is that we're just going to kind of practice that borrowing idea, that idea of making a whole number or a mixed number into a mixed number that has an improper fraction listed second. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to first recognize that 5 is the same as 4 plus 1, and then we're going to add the 3/7 at the end. Then we need to recognize that we can rewrite 1 as 7/7. In this case, our denominator is 7, so we're going to do 4 plus 7/7 plus 3/7. Then, because of the commutative property of addition, we can change the order that we want to do things. And so we can put parentheses, instead of around 4 plus 7/7, put it around 7/7 plus 3/7. That's actually probably more the associative property because we're changing the grouping. But either way, we're using those properties. And now we've got 4 is my whole number, and then 7/7 plus 3/7 is 10/7. So 5 and 3/7 is the same thing as 4 and 10/7. And that's kind of why we can borrow and how we can borrow from a mixed number and make it into a whole number with an improper fraction, so that when the second fraction is the larger one, we can borrow and still do the subtraction that we need to and get the correct answer.